Tanseho Sedi Billy Sui. Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Billy the Kid. Some people know me as Billy. I use she, her pronouns. I am your host for this lovely showcase of Voices of Today 2020. It's day 3, and tonight we have 2 amazing features for you, Jamey Williams and Angelica Paversky. I am excited. But before we begin, Voices of Today has traditionally taken place in what's colonially known as Toronto, traditionally the Huron-Wendat, Petun, Haudenosaunee, and Anishinaabe territories, as well as treaty territory, specifically the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Belt Covenant between the Haudenosaunee and Anishinaabe and the Toronto Purchase Treaty 13. As we move online, Voices of Today looks to amplify the voices of the original caretakers of the land across the globe. It's our goal to honor and offer education to everyone in the over 10,000 years of Indigenous culture and history that exists worldwide. We recognize the majority of our current organizers live across Turtle Island, which is what the Lenni Lenape and Iroquois people have traditionally called North America. As a festival, we acknowledge that reconciliation takes ongoing efforts from non-Indigenous peoples. We ask all non-Indigenous attendees to continuously learn about the history of the land and its people, from where they live and occupy, as well as to treat the land with respect the best way they know how. I myself am currently situated in ANGELIQUOI, that is the Haudenosaunee name for what is colonially known as Kingston, Ontario. It's the traditional home of the Haudenosaunee and Anishinaabe people. I'm really grateful to be here on this land and in this community. I know that all of the Haudenosaunee and Anishinaabe people that I've met here have held this land really well, and also I've been grateful to be held by them and by the water and the trees here. I'm kind of separated from my own Indigenous territory in Treaty 8, but again, thankful to be where I am. So we got this little show up here on YouTube, and there's some comments on the YouTube happening, but also we have a Discord. So the Discord link should appear on this screen, and you can follow that link and join the room where all of the chatting is happening, where everybody is going to be hyping each other up, hyping these poets up because they're amazing poets, and being like, hey, snaps, I like this poem. You can type the word snaps, or you can be like, quote a line. You know how amazing it is to have like a line quoted? And we also have our feature artist hanging out in the chat. So that's rad and exciting. Thank you for being here with us. So it's also important to mention that poems tonight may and will be about sensitive topics and we prioritize that all of you take care of yourselves. If you need to leave, come back to the stream later, or not come back at all, do what you gotta do. Take care of yourself. We care about that. We do have active listeners, and they should be identifying themselves in the chats, and that can also be found in the pinned chats on the Discord little place. So our active listeners for tonight are Kit and Dana. Thank you so much, and you can reach out to them. And Zane is the direct messenger event, so they are a director of Voices Today, and you can reach out to them if you want to talk to them about anything that happens tonight. Also, we have a really wonderful human by the name of Rabbit Richards, who's been helping us in the festival. And they're around if at any time you feel unsafe or just have something complex you want to talk about, feel free to message Rabbit on the Discord, and you can move on to texting them later, just depending on what you feel most comfortable with. Also tonight, actually all of today, we've been raising money for a wonderful collective, the Newsy Collective. So the Newsy Collective was founded in 2017 by Betty Mulat and Zamzam. They are dedicated to providing a platform for Black women, Indigenous women, and queer women of color and trans folks within the Vancouver electronic music scene. They focus on the production of dance and music events with an emphasis on rap and electronic music, as well as community engagement and empowerment initiatives. Newsy strives to strengthen and promote Black culture by nurturing spaces for expression, encouragement, safety, and togetherness. So please, please, please check out the Newsy Collective, follow them on Instagram, and if you buy tickets for today's event, they're pay what you can. then half of the proceeds will be going to them. Okay, so it is time to get this show further on the road. So first up tonight, give it up for Jamey Williams in the chat. And honestly, you can cheer in your own homes. Like sometimes I'm sitting there alone and I'm like, yeah, I'm clapping, I'm snapping. I'm just like, yes, I'm excited. Okay, so Jamey Williams is the outspoken poet representing Richmond. Oh, never mind. I am wrong. First up, we will have Angelica Paversky. So, James is going to be after this, but we got Angelica coming now. So, reorient yourselves and pump yourselves up for Angelica. So Angelica Paversky, also known as ANGELIQUOI or Angelikant, is a queer, pansexual, polyamorous, trans, non-binary Russian, Ukrainian, Jewish spoken word poet and media activist. As an educator and advocate for justice surrounding issues in media, queerness, and transness, Angelica has performed and facilitated workshops across Canada. Angelica has been known to incant as they summon ghosts back to life and then put them to rest. Angelica Paversky is residing on the unceded lands of the Musqueam, Tsleil-Waututh, and Squamish peoples. I myself first met Angelica after they did a wonderful feature in New York City, and it was just like, who is this magical human? And then we were wearing skirts that kind of matched, or something like that. Anyways, give it up for Angelica Paversky.
My full name is Robert Louis Jenny.
Is Angelica
Turned out,
Paversky.
in the long run,
And it turned out
that I was right.
in the long
I
run
did want to be a woman, but I didn't know it.
that I was right. That I was right. That I was right.
I knew that at any time I could be
And I
involved in fight.
could be. That I would be. That I am.
I survived.
And always was. And never have not been. It turned out. It turned out.
5802.
Ow. It still had hurt. She was out. They tried to make me. They tried to take my beautiful wings and flip them. They tried to make my spirit sink in the kitchen soup. Make me woke while eating my whole. Turn my orange hunger into flesh fear. Call me dead while I am living. A ghost while I'm in the living placeholder for the person I never was. A pandemic out of my teeth. A pussy out of my feet. A pussy. I will no longer send them out of my skin. Marked She heard God has seen me. God heard what I said. God has known my toes and my tongue. God has seen my pussy in its trinity of pink, blue, and white. And it turns out, I was right. I am the birth.
We used to get dressed together, and she was like, every time I go anywhere, was my main daughter of my house. but that's probably why a transsexual in New York City and surviving.
He asks to choke me politely, and I'm a dancing network of yeses and nos. I'm intramural games where boys being boys ranked my looks. I'm somewhat hot. I mic'd MSN status on how bad I smell. The teachers agreed he had a crush. I'm pushed dick pics and pulled bra straps. I'm hunted. I'm complimented. I'm learning virginities took from you in your blood and tear. Holding hurt is a sign of womanhood, and I am every kind of fuckable, worthy of woman flesh. My lips are bright red, sexy stop sign. Sex stops being painful after the first time. So now my blood is my fault. So I come in a vault of reclaiming and giving in. Handcuffed and gold to chokehold, I hold in the violence of the male gaze. I say yes like an unread offering, a smile glittering through my teeth, gritted. I say yes, and I'm the men on Tinder, who are the men at the poetry shows, who are the men at the gym, who are the men in my mouth, stuttering between theft and sex, choking on the tongue of the culture I study, preaching an echo for someone else's climax. I learned to shame myself from the inside out, to reject the feminist in me academically. I learned that a feminist wordsmith can't find herself in celibacy or sex. White dictionaries call celibacy the act of not giving into the dirty. The dirty is what happens to you. White wordies say that your pain is not synonymous with his pleasure. At most, your pain is an omitted consonant in its pronunciation, read but never remembered. However, if women wrote the Oxford, sex would be defined as a communal touch of the unabsolved assaults asleep in our nervous system. Sex would be the quiet way we place our yes in parentheses, pull it from context, strip ourselves naked, wash ourselves out of the male Bible, and yet with it, I say yes, and my body bends backwards in sacrifice for the scripture. Satisfying men is the learned sound of my freedom. I try to heal through the moans of bodies that hurt me. I try to heal through these hymns. I try to heal through these hymns, and I'm every religion I ever believed in pointing its fingers back at me. I'm 17 love letters in handwriting I can't read anymore. I'm 16 faked orgasms. I'm 15 attempts at stripping pubic hair. I'm 14 fingernails in my vagina, forcing my smile out. I'm 13 years old, and I say, not all men. In fact, most are good. I'm 13 years old, and mankind is indeed just that. I'm 12 years old, and the boys think that I'm somewhat hot. I'm thankful to be seen. Hollow. I say yes, and I'm 21 years old, trying to unlearn how to uncheat the intimacy stolen from my esophagus, how to hear my consent without a performance, when my pleasure is all his, and his pleasure is hinged on my pain, my anatomy, a worshipped question mark, my wet prayers undiscussed, birthed from the male orgasm. How do I know if I want what he wants? I'm going to pass the mic to a very lovely human now. She's been traveling with me everywhere I go. She's somebody I really, really look up to in a lot of ways, but she has a lot of learning to do as well. And she is somebody who's really dear to me. And we've talked a lot at length about issues of consent, issues of privilege, and she's gonna meet me outside because, well, essentially, it's COVID, it's the pandemic, so I don't want people in here. So we'll see her outside, and then I'll come back into here and continue some poetry. Hey folks, so I decided to bring in a really special guest as part of this show. She's somebody who's super dear to me, and I get a lot of flack because people are always like, hey, you don't give enough of the cis heterosexual perspective. So anyways, I thought I would bring her in, and then we could just hash some things out, see all sides, just kind of get into a flow of showing people
that I actually have these kinds of conversations all the time. So let's kick it off with her finest, beautiful self, all the way from Steventon, British Columbia, coming to join me in Montreal. Let's give it up for Gunky Gertrude! Yay!
Oh my god!
Yay! I love you, Gunky.
ANGELIQUOI, thank you so much for having me today. I really love the non-binary community. I'm here as a really amazing, supportive, welcoming, and kind cis hetero. What was that word again? Ally. Yeah. So thanks for having me, ANGELIQUOI. Really appreciate it.
Like, why do you have to say it like that, though?
Okay, so, like, I feel like for me, I don't know about other people, but I really feel like I, like, go out of my way to support people, like, on the daily. Like, I'm always supporting people. I, like, don't get pronouns wrong unless if I feel like it, and how people are. But like, really, it's just like me and my girlfriends, like, we work really hard. Me and my girlfriends.
Oh, you have a girlfriend? You have like multiple girlfriends? Like, that is so awesome. I didn't know that.
No, like we're not dating. Like they're like my wife. Like they're my wife. You know what I mean? Like we're not dating, but we're married. In a like heterosexual way, okay. Like a normal way. yeah. Not saying that you're not normal. No, that's not. I didn't mean that. Yeah. I mean, it really does make me think. Like, why am I even on this show? Like, am I like taking up too much space? Like, am I like? I just really wanted to come here and like talk to the people about how I'm a good ally and that it's like really important to like work hard and like be there for people and
work hard,
throughout this whole time and like hearing you talk about it and like everything you said about it, and I just really feel like I have a lot to post about right now. I have a lot to like tweet about. I have a lot to add to my resume, and I really want to thank you for that, because like us allies really need to like do better. And like if you want to learn more about doing better, come and like follow me on Instagram. Well, I'll tell you how to be a great cis hetero woman, and we'll work together. I'll work with you, and I'll make sure.
All right, folks. That was Gunky Gertrude. Get out of my show now. All right, back to more poetry.
Isn't she a breath of fresh air? Yeah. I have a poem that I wrote that I would love to do, kind of in relation to that conversation that we had out there. When the boy I like misgenders me. When the boy I like misgenders me at the beach, with grains of sand stuck in my pussy, with my water bottle filled with dirt, my mouth filled with shit and blood and roasted marshmallows. I take a bikini picture of the drunk girls angry, and I am reminded of how my sister and I spoke, inhaling tantrums until it was quiet inside of us. This is how we survived, raising middle fingers to walls, locking tweets on private, being called a faggot like a conversation, memorizing how to twist ourselves like houseplants. Our roots often so tangled we crowned our neck out of the cement for opposite suns, hurting each other for a new crack, a bright rupture where an immigrant womb might grow up safe one day. This is how we moved, growing ourselves into normal. Sounds left in a closed casket breaking free. When the boy asks if he stunned me, I refuse to show the beauty that comes with the exit. The exit after growing up on an electric wire and being wounded by who is supposed to be home. I tell him I'm only shocked in a familial way, which is to say I am not shocked at all. About his questions or his cameras, or my lack of niceness as a catalyst for a cut-up smile, for a fist, for a credit card with consequences, because he reminds me of the guy that I just met, because he reminds me of the ex that I just had. The guy at Starbucks reminds me of 1,000 ghosts. 1,000 ghosts remind me of my father, and all these men with their eggshell thoughts as I run out of patience to crawl or to sugar kneel for them. I have memorized how to stare at them. And so I stare at the boy that I like this, for the last time, so bright, so empty, waiting for his redemption, my eyes glistening with the begging confusion that belongs to the child that is still waiting for his salve, despite an archaic splinter, inherited from womb to casket to each transcending body since this bloody flag was pressed into my pussy. I don't like to look into the whites of his eyes and ask if he sees me. I don't want to hunt into his throat for clues of remorse. I don't even click buttons in the living room anymore to see if I can turn them off or if I can become furniture. Instead, I decide I'm going to leave now. Even the ground will not be spared in my exit. I will pick up every cement block and tell it to leave me alone too. I will leave my hands hanging to dry from impatience, empty and getting it all back now. I will not take the people that try to boil me into my baby bed, wet spaghetti on the wall, shouting again for unwanted hands, unwanted questions, unwanted smiles because of blowjobs I didn't want to give because of change to what God I believed was a man. I am no longer cooked or crooked. I am no longer crooked in a houseplant. I am no longer twisting myself for sunlight. And my sister and I have worked with handfuls of moments that turn into years before we will reach the relief of finding a home. We dance together like that. Sisters, now siblings, our bodies resenting the other, broken lines in each other's eyesight, silent, we mourned without words. A Jewish chain that must shatter to touch, an ocean apart, an umbilical cord extractor, our mother waiting for us to return to a country that is gone, myself wanting to make my mother proud, and we are out now. So who the fuck are you, boy that I have a crush on, to come in here and believe that you have stunned me, to believe that you are the moral of my story? You are the end of a long saga, and I'm finally freeing myself from it all. I'm here in all my force, and I am loved despite it all. I am water despite it all. I am the salvation of the bath. I am the miraculous of giving. I broke the earth into all of its beautiful bits, and we bled together in a mercy. One day, I pray all of you will have the language for such a beautiful thing. Once again, I'm worried that the arcs of the people that love me are not wide enough to gather all of my breaking. I am a lying smile with a faint torch for a mouth. I'm lying in a smile. Why do I find myself longing for smiles that lie, for worlds that were never real to begin with, for love that is only digital, for art that is only beautiful in where it is going, for gods that have promised so much, but never seem to give it, for brightness that keeps getting overexposed in its wetness, for leaves too ripe, for could-bes that keep breaking my heart before I find myself mourning the past and the future like it's the same. I sit staring at myself in an airplane bathroom mirror, not exactly sure where my leaving is bending me. Isn't the way we have wounded ourselves too heavy now? The way we casket our beliefs, the way we make our bodies a dense and complicated thing. I stare at myself and I wonder if this is a blessing or if this is my survival.
I feel the crack of a divine Hello? Hi. Hi. Yeah. Why did you think you were entitled to my time, my kindness, my body? Why did you think I would thank you for it? How do I look at my nipple as a blessing instead of as a reminder? How can I be less preyed on? How do I carve out your names for my prayers? How do I baptize myself back into armor? How do I cut out the people that cut me off in class for my carcass? How do I sunbathe when the spotlight is always accusatory, waiting to prove me wrong? When is yelling only an outcry to the long hallway? When is screaming just a tide pool? A quiet thunder unconsumed, a religious way to announce that you are drowning. When is calling men only asking them to listen if it's convenient? How eloquent do I have to be until I am allowed to be angry? How many blades will I sharpen with my own eyes until these experiences that stained glass my glare cannot be misconstrued as I fucking or trying to flirt or asking to be stepped on? I called them all, and all they offered me was their I'm sorries, their guilt, or their I believe you, stamped with the trademark of feminism. Their chests swollen with love for women, their desire to do better next time. And I guess this is all I could ask for. I guess I was never asking for anything. I've learned resilience and I do not credit them for it. I become a honey howler, a red whistler. I cry wolf like a Celtic song. I tell them to shut the fuck up and to never touch me again. I become a violent shade of beauty, a kind of beauty vibrant, not because of the violence, but in spite of it. A kind of beauty that knows how power works and still stares back. A kind of beauty that is impenetrable. A kind of beauty that answers its own call. Its own call. Its own call. I recall the water drips, the water falls. Body memorial, body phone call. Body answer, memory dancer. Bulletproof tooth, if God only knew. Bulletproof tooth, if God only knew I can heal.
Okay. Thank you so much, Angelica. Give it up for Angelica Perversky. Gonna hop into the Discord chat and read some of the comments we have. We love a multimedia artist. This poem is on my Spotify repeat playlist. The Ansonants, Tommy, and hey, if you can actually go on the Discord and find Angelica's Spotify link. Supporting artists, heck yeah. So, I've got some exciting news for you. We actually have one open micer today. So, before we go on to our next feature, Jamey Williams, we will be having our first open micer. Our one open micer, Annika. And also you can see this little Discord chat. Hop in the Discord and show lots of love for each other. Say things you liked about the poem. Heck yeah, I see some snaps. Yes, okay, I love that human. This is what I'm talking about. Okay, give it up for Annika.
I want to take care of you. I want to braid the hair out of your face. I want to take care of you. I want to braid the hair out of your face, want to cook you dinner, want to pull you half asleep from the couch and tuck you into bed. I want to take care of you. On the good days when I bring you tea, or the harder times when I crack jokes to make you smile, or the bad nights where I wipe your tears and hold your hand and sit with you, I want to be there. On early mornings or late nights, when you're headachy or grumpy or tired or sad or silly, I want to take care of you. I think someone taught you that you weren't allowed to need things. I think someone taught you that being taken care of meant being a burden. I think someone taught you that the only person you could rely on to take care of you was you. But I want to take care of you. And when you let me, when you ask me to, it does not feel like a burden. It feels like trust. It feels like softness. It feels like love.
The tenderness. I want to braid the hair out of your face. So many snaps for Annika. Okay, so moving on to the next part of our show. Give it up for Jamey Williams. Show all of your love. Heck yeah. Oh, we see some comments. I see some people, some typing. This is soft. Fuck my heart. So soft and sweet. Thank you. Okay, I see. There's a little bit of time that happens in between poem finishing and me reading comments on Discord. So it just means you gotta keep commenting your stuff. And anyways, it's for people to see. Okay, now I will be introducing Jamey Williams. Jamey Williams is the outspoken poet representing Richmond, California. After winning the Compliment Death Match at the 2017 National Poetry Slam, he became the first person to be named the nicest poet in the country. Jamey is also the co-founder of both the Rich Oak Alchemy Slam and the California State University East Bay Slam Poetry Club. He was also the first runner-up in Game 5 of the international competition called Poetry Battles. His achievements include touring internationally, publishing 2 chapbooks, performing at Twitter, Yelp, and Google headquarters. Jamey is also an accomplished actor. He was featured in a Truth anti-tobacco commercial, which premiered at the 2018 Grammys before being shown on television stations around the country. He has also been in StubHub ads and does stage theater. When Jamey isn't organizing or competing, he spends his time reading, educating the youth, watching anime, and pursuing his bachelor degree. Jamey used he, him, his pronouns. And just a note about the next video, there aren't any captions for this one, but if you hop in the Discord, we've got the text of the poems. So give all of your love to our next feature, Jamey Williams.
Yo, my name is Jamey Williams. I am a poet, rapper, and educator from Richmond, California. Today, I'm here to be delivering a 20-minute poetry set for you. I really hope you enjoy. If you like anything that I say, feel free to follow me on social media. It's at Jamey_the poet. That's JAMEY_the poet. JAMEY_the poet. But enough talk, so let's get into this. I'm from the Bay where you got it there, it's hard. People say hella and be swinging in their car. Every day is sunny and everybody's a star. Don't nothing come small cause everything is large. I'm from the Bay where them niggas carry hammers. I'm from the Bay where them niggas go bananas. My mama told me don't get locked up in a slammer, so I gotta use my mind and I gotta mind my manners. I'm from a black pothole that offers no palliation. I'm from a fracture in the frame of society that is easily overlooked, a crack in the community that is becoming overbooked with faces of the enemy. Gentrification is a small entity of institutionalized racism. It is the beast, skin, the color of money, teeth, painted with privilege, that raises generations of families from the only homes that they have ever known. It is the calm before the conquest. Call it the hegemony in hiding. And so I wonder if being black is so bad, then why is my culture the blood of this country? I said, if being black is so bad, then why is my culture the blood of this country? If our hoods lack enough neighbor, why do these white families welcome themselves to play the part? And why, during my sophomore year of college, after English 1002, the overprivileged girl stretched her paper-thin lips to turn my city into nothing more than a black bird on its deathbed? She said, I never stop in Richmond. I just drive past on my way to school. And you know, because it's too dangerous, until this day, there is an ocean of anger inside of my chest that wishes I looked her dead in the eyes and said, my city is not a buckshot loaded into the barrel of a shotgun. My city is the city of pride and purpose. How dare you deem it worthless? Richmond is not the black bird on his deathbed about to croak. Rather, it's the black smoke dancing on top of the bonfire as if there's no tomorrow. Yes, my city knows sorrow. It has mastered the art of holding death and progress in the same damn breath. It heard the thunderclap of bullets raining from Cutting Boulevard, rinsed the blood off of his fingertips. It didn't even have a moment to mourn, because in the morning it had to become the sun, pulling apart the sky like blinds to reveal a brand new day. Richmond is a place of praise. It's the loudest hallelujah that should leap from your lips. It's the alarm clock buzzing in your brain, letting you know it is time to wake up. It is time to wake up. It is time to wake up. Richmond is made up of melanin and stardust, and blood, and bones. So I call it home to the future's biggest protest, because Richmond looks a lot like a revolutionary at rest. My city is a pulsing heart, the size of a black power fist, doused in the flames of being forgotten. My city knows how to be forgotten, knows how to tuck itself inside itself. But ain't that all the hood is anyway? Two sides of the same coin, two sets in the same city, two gangs gunning at each other like there isn't a common enemy, like there isn't a multitude of institutions constructed to carry black bodies into cages or coffins. So the moment I walk into these public schools overly eager to teach my classes, I refuse to see a violent crime rate 138% higher than the national average. I choose to see a body of black and brown students with pebbles of hope thrown so far down their well-shaped hearts that it is hard to walk on the asphalt without hearing it calling your name. And until this day, I wish I told that girl from Danville that my city looks a lot like the moon, constantly going through cycles of its own rebirth. Better yet, it is a phoenix rising from its own ashes, ready to reclaim itself, ready to rename itself. It's something that refuses to die on the tongue of those who cannot see its infinite beauty. Say it with me. Richmond. Boom, 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 boom. That's how we're going to start that thing. Like I said, my name is Jamey. Today I'm going to be doing some poetry for you. I might be rapping a little bit of storytelling. All of that is kind of combined into my art. My art is very black. It talks about my upbringing, me being an American citizen, a black American citizen, a queer black American citizen, and all the things that come around that. The trauma, the joy, the happiness, and the triumph. But I think that as a poet, it is also my job to talk about how things are hard and how we are perceived. So this next piece that I'm going to perform is kind of about that. I took something that I love, books, and I used it to talk about something else. So they say you can't judge a book by its cover. I say you have never been black. Never been categorized by the color of your complexion. Never been stigmatized because of your skin. To be black in America is to be another author in a never-ending anthology about oppression. It is to be a chapter standing under the bloodiest of suns, singing Negro spirituals and songs about freedom. A chapter captured in chains and carried to the table of contents known as this country. But isn't it ironic that they call this the land of the free? To be black in America is to know that you could have been a commodity had you been born 200 years before. 200 years before today, I would have been born a slave. My hands would have been drenched in burgundy blood from picking cotton and fights and the right routes to run away. And sometimes, I said, sometimes being black feels like being the prequel to Revolution or the sequel titled Retaliation. And I am tired. I said that I'm tired of being a walking publication of pain. I'm tired of being a footnote with no bootstraps to pull myself up. But isn't it heritage for African Americans to turn shit into sugar, to make the margins feel more like a home, to be seen as a home for bullets you think? To live life this graphic, one must exist in a novel or something. To be Black in America is to know that you can be target practice at any white man's will. It is to keep your will on standby. It is to stand by injustice and say nothing. If only we could speak every time we were traumatized. So please, remind me how you don't judge books by their cover, or how you don't see color. Remind me again how you can blatantly skim all over this magnificent Black joy. So that was that piece. This next piece is kind of similar. It talks about oppression. It talks about how it feels to be Black in America. The last book that I wrote was called Breathing Underwater. And for me, that's how it feels. It feels a lot of the time like you're expected to be great. You're expected to survive, but there's so much pressure on you all the time to just make it out alive. My toes taste the cold currents before I realize that I am standing Black and barefoot in a wasteland of water. Looking back, I realized that the waves carried me here without consent. Yet, nevertheless, I continue to call this ocean home. And here, I hear barracudas biting into bones for breakfast. I see sharks sharpening their jaws, fouling their fangs with the remains of decrepit skeletons. You see, the sea is a dangerous place. It is the bloodiest of whirlpools, where fish who share my features replace their name with the word lunch, lawless lagoon, where the mighty sand dollar reigns supreme. But today, the skin on my feet dared me to go deeper into its depths, and I almost did, only stopping after I heard the voice of death. The reaper looks a lot like a riptide. Hatred bubbles out of his throat before he threatens to sink me in a familiar tone that sounds a lot like genocide. He says, "Boy, I will swallow you whole like I did your ancestors." So make no mistake, the waves wore a warning, and I will drown you in a watery grave if you ever forget your place. If you ever forget that this ocean was not made for your kind, but the irony being that the brine of this country is salty with Black blood. This country is a ship that will trade my self-worth for a freight of obedience, that will smash me and leave me as nothing but flotsam floating on the surface. If only there was an ocean of... Oops, I am so sorry. I just dropped that poem. Let me make sure that I go back and read that to do this poem justice. This country is a ship that will trade my hope for a freight of obedience, a ship that will smash my self-worth into flotsam. If only Black bodies could breathe underwater. We build Atlantis in the name of our ancestors. If only this ocean was kind to my kin, then Black bodies would buoy because of freedom. If only there was an oasis of acceptance in America. Boom. So that's that poem. I know I kind of dropped it at the end a little bit there. I was just kind of feeling it. I was just really going in. I have most of the poems that I'm performing today memorized, except for the second part of this next poem. So the two previous poems that I just did was a lot about Black death. a lot about the Black struggle, how it feels, how you're seeing the stereotypes and everything that comes along with that. But I don't want people to think that that's all that being Black means to me. Being Black for me is also a sense of pride, a sense of joy, and a sense of legacy. Um, my main job is teaching grade school students how to write poetry, and I always kind of cultivate this sense of joy and welcoming and well-being in my class. So this next piece and a half is kind of about that, things that bring us joy. And also, music was my first love before poetry. So that's why a lot of my poems have that lyrical feel, that lyrical sound, because I'm also a rapper. So this next piece started as a rap, and I just kind of tagged along one of my poems that I wrote a long time ago at the end because it kind of fit. And a lot of times that's how writing is. You write something, put it down years later, something else just fits perfectly to that. So let me make sure that I have that second poem because that poem isn't memorized. Let me make sure that I have that poem pulled up in my book and ready to go. Then I can hop into the poem. Okay, here we go. I started my day listening to Black Girl Magic. No Name and Jamila Woods is fantastic. Erica Badu and Laura Hill too. A little Jill Scott on the side to get me through. Cause I'm in need of positivity and the truth today. I hear their words are sweeter than Kool-Aid. I listen what they say. Put it on replay. I listen what they say. Keep it on replay. I started my day with some Black Girl Magic. No Name and Jamila Woods is fantastic. Erica Badu and Laura Hill too. A little Jill Scott on the side to get me through. Cause I'm in need of positivity and the truth today. I hear their words are sweeter than Kool-Aid. I listen what they say. Keep it on replay. I listen what they say. Keep it on replay. Hello world, how you doing? Glad to have your attention. Did you know that Black women always been magicians? If you didn't, then I really gotta say that you tripping. Who else has been known to always handle their business, handle the children, handle the world, do it all? When I need my spirits up, I know who to call. Hand in hand, we make a stand. Together we fall. But I'm going to be here by your side today and tomorrow. So when times get rough and you down on your luck, I'm going to lift you up, dust you off, and show you some love. See, I'm just trying to repay everything that you give. I know mothers who are mothers, but they ain't got kids. I got women I call auntie, but they ain't my kin. I give everything I got to protect my friends. We're gonna build this fortress brick by brick. Together we work better. Yeah, you know how it is. You the voice in my throat. Give me heat when I'm cold. Turn a house to a home. What's a man with no soul? To all the women that I love, here's a thank you note. All the women that I love, a thank you note. A Shaniqua will teach you. Bet Centoria done told you. Pamela knows it all. Yeah, my mom is a soldier. Taught me how to survive and keep my head above water and how to check on myself when I feel out of order because I started my day with some Black Girl Magic. No Name, Jamila Woods, fantastic. Erica Badu and Laura Hill too. A little Jill Scott on the side to get me through because I'm in need of positivity and the truth today. I hear their words are sweeter than Kool-Aid. I listen what they say. Keep it on replay. I listen what they say. Keep it on replay. I started my day sitting down in the kitchen. 4 feet away from my mama, watching her prepare dinner as she swiftly moves about with a certain level of practiced precision. And do you smell that? The heat waves creeping out of the oven are always accompanied by an aroma. It smells like the sweetest treats that can only be conceived in the South. The wines that are only allowed to melt the pink taste buds inside of your mouth on Sunday. It smells like women made miracles, dashed with tablespoons of Black girl magic. It smells like overt optimism in the face of poverty. And just always, I remain seated with my wide, inquisitive eyes glued to her every move. Mama's chocolate hands always lifting pots and pans. Mama's chocolate hands always chopping in the onions. Mama's chocolate hands always seasoning the chicken. Mama's chocolate hands always opening cans of corns, beans, and yams. Today, as I watched her majestic figure move about, I wondered how many other little chocolate boys have watched their mamas as closely as I have mine. I wondered how many other people had adopted their mother's mannerisms, because in my case, I inherited my mother's love of life. I was birthed with her pragmatic stubbornness. I embody her ambitious tenacity. I display her filial piety in the form of a smile. But these days, I'm barely home. And whenever I roam about in the world, I always feel like something is missing. The muscles in my abdomen start contracting, asking for something that I cannot give it, and my stomach starts caving in, craving a hearty helping of love that is fulfilling, something similar to my mother's. And honestly, it took me 2 decades to realize that the kitchen has always been a symbol for life, and I have always been watching my mama's chocolate hands always lifting up R6 of her kids. Mama's chocolate hands always chopping down barriers and obstacles that attempted to stymie our success. Mama's chocolate hands always making sure that we were well seasoned with knowledge and education. Mama's chocolate hands always opening massive cans of whoop ass on any idiot foolish enough to mess with one of her babies. And some days I want to drop my responsibilities and run home just so I can give her a hug, see her moving about in the kitchen so I can finally say, Mama, do you need a hand? Matter of fact, you can lie down if you want, and I'll cook dinner tonight. I use unconditional love as the secret spice. The same taste that I've been feasting on for 23 years straight will always be attached to my memories because of you. Mama, it's time I bake you something beautiful. Boom, boom, boom. That is my time. I really hope you enjoy my work. Again, if you want to connect with me, reach out. I'm on Instagram at Jamey the Poet. That's JAMEY _ the poet. Peace, folks.
Give it up for Jamey. Thank you so much. Follow Jamey on Instagram at Jamey _ the poet, I believe. And it's actually the same as Jamey's handle on Discord. So I'm going to let the comments in the chat go, but I will encourage you, because we are in the midst of a compliment champion. So give your best compliments, I say. So just to mention it one more time, it's still not too late to donate to the Newsy Collective, to buy tickets for this event so that you can support both this festival and both the Newsy Collective at the same time. Okay, anyways, thank you so much for watching. Masicho to everyone showing their love in the Discord. Okay, we have Sick Transition, Love, 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 the Hymn to the City, Boom, the prequel to Revolution, holy shit, the ocean imagery, beautiful imagery, Handle the World, a lot of love for moms out here. Amazing, that was awesome. And thank you for your beautiful work. Snaps all around. That was so beautiful. The rhythm, the storytelling, the craft. Oh, my heart. So a big thank you to our sponsors, the Ontario Arts Council and the Toronto Arts Council, as well as Golden Brick Road Publishing. And another thank you extended to EcoJot and Living Hyphen for their support as well. Really go wild for our sponsors. Like, we've got people who are supporting us and doing the art thing, and that is lovely. I'm here for it. Let's see. There's also been some real lovely people making everything happen today. Making everything happen over the whole festival for this particular event. Huge shout out to Kit and Dana for being our active listeners today, for Zane to being our direct messenger. Robin has been our access person. Give it up for Casper, our venue captain, Kay, our StreamYard tech, Noah, our StreamYard video streamer, Oshin, our live stream watch, and I have been Billy the Kid, your host. Thank you so much for watching. Much love. We've got a full day of festival events tomorrow. Check it out on Instagram. Look about things in the Discord. And if you're a poet, sign up for the open mic. And when I say poet, I mean anybody who is someone who has a poem. Yeah, there's different events that you can sign for open mics for. So we've got a showcase I believe, tomorrow morning on Zoom. So I would highly encourage you checking it out. Okay, see you all there.